And this is an ultimatum from the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, insisting that the public interest to know is greater than any other legitimate interest that the government might wish to protect. The Nigerian government has an obligation to balance whether the risk of harm to the legitimate aim, that is secrecy of ongoing corruption investigation and presumption of innocence from disclosure of the names of public officers, is greater than the public interest in accessing the information. That's an ultimatum from a non-governmental organization. So, gentlemen, the question now is, which one weighs more? Which one should weigh more? The desire of the Nigerian populace to know who are the people that stole our funds, or the desire to avoid legal consequences?
Now, the viewers must also come to time.
Let him respond to that.
The people put the government in place, and the government have the right, the duty, to tell them what is happening. And nobody can take that duty from them. We are talking about public interest. We want to know. If we are in the dark, we want to know. And when we know, it will even give those people, some people that are having their mind, not to do that.
Okay, so let me ask you this question. It's just popping up in my head. So if your name was on that list, I'm not saying your name is there, you wouldn't mind if it's published?
If my name is on that list and they have proof, let them go ahead.
Okay. That's a caveat. If they have proof, that is the beginning of.
But remember, he said something. He said something before when he reacted earlier. He said something. He said, if you're doing a plea bargain, the person would have given a confession that I took this thing and bring it back. That is evidence.
That is evidence.
And so you can go ahead and publish names. That's what he said.
So what I'm trying to say is, let me also remind you from the clip of the president's speech that he showed. It's clearly said, I will speak on this. That's the president's message.
Hold on.
He said, I will speak on this.
Hold on.
Secondly,
before that, I will speak on this. He said, from the ministry, from the individuals, from whatever organization, I will speak on this. What does that imply?
I will speak on this. He had spoken, at least. You may not have had the full names or the names of the looters. He has spoken. His word. He has given his word. The amount of money recovered.
His word. He said we were putting a comprehensive report.
Comprehensive report.
Now we are getting what was published is an interim report.
Interim report.
Yes. In governmental activities, when a process is not yet completed, government is not duty-bound to disclose what it has not completed. If Nigerians are eager, and then it says, the job I'm doing, this is the stage at which I am. It does not, remember one of the tweeters said, the government has not said we're not going to publish name of looters. It's not that we're inquisitive, which is also right for us as a people, because we must ask questions to say, look, we're in a hurry to know those who have looted our funds.
Question.
That's not part of the
question, so that both of you can react. Why do a disclosure if you're not willing to make a full disclosure?
You see, the president of Nigeria owns us, the populace, the duty. Once he says something, he needs to do what he has said. We are not saying he's not fighting corruption. That's not the issue here. The issue is, let us know those people and the amount. That is the issue. If you said you have already collected XYZ from XYZ, then let us know the XYZ, let us know the amount, so that there won't be room for embezzling such fund that has been so far collected. And you see, this is why I would say that those people, the preponderance of the change initiative, if they are the real people in the saddles of governance, they have the ideas. Like the poet, a poet is the only person that knows how to interpret his own poem. So those that are behind the change agenda, they are the only people that can interpret and succeed in this change agenda. So what I'm saying in essence is apology to Mr. President. He has done so much. He's fighting corruption. But the thing is, let us know those people that have stolen from the masses. If it is not, then it is political. Maybe from this angle, maybe there are some people, there are some more who are also in the same side with our president.
You're free to speak in plain terms. Are you implying that there are some people that are in the APC whose names might be
That will maybe that has also embezzled and they don't want to come up with the list. But the thing is, he doesn't owe anybody any apology. He's the president of the nation, the father of the nation. Let him come up, whether it is PDP, it's APC. Let him tell everybody so that we know those who have stolen our money, and we know how much we have recovered so far, and we'll be able to know whether this money is enough for us to get out of the shackles of poverty that we are now to the realms of.
I like to take off from the words to say it's an interim report. You work in Channels Television, and as you work here, when you set up a panel, a committee to work on something, and the panel is still ongoing on the job, and you need to have an insight into what the panel is doing, you take an interim report. The president, yes, take an interim report.
Well, how about coming up to say that yes, the panel is still working on it?
Yeah, the panel is
still working on it.
The president has not come out to say that we're not going to make disclosure of names. This, of course, is said to be an interim report. I think Nigerians must be a bit more patient with the president and the government to say, fine, we have had a stage one, a name, those funds that are looted. We need a second. Nigerians have a right to know their names. I'm not saying they don't have a right to, but I'm saying that if knowing their names and disclosing their names as at this juncture will amount to some kind of, legal, legal implications. First, for those looters' names that are published. Two, for the congestions of our courts. We've been fighting corruption since the government came up. Let me ask you, how many people have been jailed? So the question now is, there are alternative means of resolving issues. If all we first of all do is recover our looted funds, and then we can prosecute and say, yes, you have made confessions, we have recovered so much.
Okay, one
the
question.
Procedure must really be there.
There's a question here.
Yes.
Toby is asking a question. He says, how is it then that people who are in court now, some people who are in court now, I'm trying to get exactly, some people who are in court now have their names published, but then they go to court and they get an injunction to have them restrained in custody so that they do not interfere with investigation. What he's trying to say, I guess, is that some investigations are still going on, and then the agencies, ESCs, for instance, goes to court and get an injunction so that they keep them in prison so that they do not interfere with the investigation. But their names have already been published.
Do you know what? So, do you know what we are faced as a people?
Hello.
Do you know what we are faced as a people?
Do
you know what we are faced as a people as a result of that procedure? We are faced the kind of a situation where in the next 4 years somebody might likely even go to jail, and then we might not be able to recover any fund because the law, like I've said, is an ass on its own. There are litigations going on, and there are even people that are adjournments that are coming up because of one, and there are a lot of other court injunctions that are going on. So if what we needed as a people is for our funds to be recovered, let's pursue that procedure, and then we can now prosecute. Those we have taken to court, how much success have we made out of it?
Okay.
Because the law protects everybody.
Okay, so let's
well, the law is to protect everybody. And if the ass is there to strike you when you are against the law. But the thing is this, there's what they call open secret. This thing is not covered. You mention names, this person has been arrested, he takes so amount, he's trying to recover so amount, one. This person has promised to give back this, he has written this, two. What is it going to take the government to collect all these names and all this money that has been collected and bringing it for the whole masses to see? And from what we are meant to understand and to believe is that some voluntarily, that is admission of guilt. Some voluntarily wrote that they are going to return some amount of money. Why? It is now imperative that the president has to just collect this name and the amount and bring it to the public purview.
Someone asked a question.
My brother
Hold
is
on.
a lawyer.
Larry says,
Yes.
why would you return what you didn't take ab initio?
The question is not about whether they were returned or they were not returned, as to the fact that government has disclosed what has been recovered, what has been pledged,
What
is
Larry is
to come.
implying that they are
What
guilty.
He cannot pronounce them guilty because it's not a, it's
I
not
say
a
what
court
he's
of law.
implying. He has not pronounced.
Because you need to go to a court of jurisdiction, a court of competent jurisdiction to proclaim anybody guilty.
Let me
refer you one second. Let him finish.
In doing that, you will set a longer procedure. I am convinced that government must disclose names ultimately. But I'm also convinced that you must follow procedure.
Okay.
If the procedure as at today is still saying that, look, we have an interim report, we're still doing investigations, why are we in a hurry? We must allow the investigation.
Let me avoid your mind to section 270, subsection 10 to 16 of Administrative Criminal Justice Act. There is a process for plea bargaining. When somebody has agreed that, look, I am going to give this money back, he will call the prosecutor. And if at that, if he said no, and the prosecutor knows that if we did not go this way, we might not get that money, the prosecutor can initiate it. And then I said, come, out of all these several millions you have stolen, why can't you bring back such amount of money? And to his conscience, because the relevant sections of the Constitution, from section 35, subsection 5 to 36, to section 36, is clear. Presumption of innocence. And they have the right to remain silent. They have the right not to say anything.
Okay.
But anything they say will be used against them.
All
and
right.
once they have agreed to say that they admitted that this money has been taken.
All right, I'm going to
it
read
is their
out
duty.
two comments here. Both of you will think about it when we take this break. Omeje says, non-publication of the names shows a grand conspiracy by the political class to evade trial and disgrace. That's your response to that. And then Ademola Just says, the PDP man forgets that the alleged looters have and can enforce their fundamental human rights. So you respond to that when we come back. We'll take a moment. I'll be back shortly. Don't go away.